Man like Mark Sullivan, the warrior self. Stay tuned for the thrilling episode. Woo!
A positive mental attitude can clear away all obstacles which stand between you and your major purpose in life.
This is the Snowboard Project featuring Mark Sullivan and the Bead. The Snowboard Project. The Snowboard Project. The Snowboard Project.
Welcome back to the Snowboard Project. I'm Mark Sullivan.
And I am the Beeve, and we're here in Ketchum, Sun Valley, Idaho.
That's right.
With a Real Talk episode coming at you.
Yeah, it's Real Talk Monday. What is it? October 29th today?
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is Halloween week, so...
Oh, it's been... This is a tough Halloween because it's been going since, like, Friday, right?
Right.
Everyone's partying on the weekends, and there's still... Halloween still has yet to happen.
I know. How was your Halloween party, Beef?
Man, we had such a fun Halloween party here.
Yeah?
We had an old school Halloween kegger at the Hot Water.
Old school Halloween kegger.
Yeah, we had a couple bands play. It was pretty fun.
Really?
It's pretty loud, yeah.
Sounds like a trip back down memory lane to college.
It's what I'm going for. You just go like, okay, what haven't we done since we were 19, you know? I'm 36 right now, you know. Halloween kegger.
A Halloween kegger.
Yep.
And that was pretty good.
It's pretty fun, yeah.
What was your outfit? What was like your costume?
I just kind of had this like, I guess this vest on that I'd made. I was part of this band and at a certain point, and so we just...
I see. You throw a concert for yourself. Basically, I'm having a party and I'm going to be the starring act.
No, I was not. I didn't play. I was just dressed like the part. Like
you were dressed
when I was
like
in
a rocker. Band. You were in the band before and now you're not.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't make sense to me.
I didn't get kicked out. Okay, well, let's talk about snowboarding instead of partying.
Yeah. Let's talk about snowboarding. Halloween week, still not a ton going on, but we do have a bunch of resorts open around the country.
We do, yeah.
And so I saw that Mount Snow opened up last week for the earliest opening in 64 years. Sunday River, Killington on the East Coast, so those are your East Coast options.
Those guys are all open?
Yeah, they're all open. And then Colorado, you got Loveland, a Basin. I'm not sure if Wolf Creek is still open or not. I think they may still be open.
It seems like the weather hasn't been pummeling through to give us a whole bunch of snow in those places.
You know, I think that we're still a little early basically in the season. It's still October, so it's like, you know, come Thanksgiving, we'll see basically resorts nationwide opening up. But until then, it's kind of like your early opening snowmaking, white ribbon of death style riding.
I will say, though, here in Sun Valley, and I don't know if you feel this way, but it has been pretty warm out. Like, it's like 60 degrees yesterday, you know?
Yeah, during the day, it definitely has been getting warm, still Indian summer style. But at night, though, it does cool off. You definitely need a decent jacket at nighttime. So
yeah,
it's starting to come. We're starting to feel it.
I hope so. We need some snow here soon.
Yeah.
Apparently, I was looking at the weather, and like Noah saying that there's snow coming on Wednesday, kind of to the Rockies. So I think there's like this whole band of kind of purple.
So a little Halloween snowstorm for us?
Yeah, some Halloween snow, which is nice. So
okay, cool.
What else is going on? There's got to be some stuff in the news.
Oh, there's a bunch of different news we could talk about.
Hit me with something. Let's talk about something.
Okay, so there's a new collab between Burton and Carhartt, and it's called the WIP, or Work in Progress collection. And basically, it's a blend of Burton's technical performance fabrics and Carhartt's timeless styles. Right. And so, it's going to be like 10 pieces, workwear-inspired outerwear and silhouettes taken from iconic Carhartt pieces with an outdoor performance context.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can be snowboarding 1 minute and then go out and chop some trees down and do some logging.
I don't know. I mean, I'm a fan of Carhartt.
I'm a fan of Carhartt too.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Carhartt, like, it's durable, it wears well, and it's not overly priced. So I would say that, this could be a pretty cool collab.
Do you think once Burton and Carhartt collaborate? Oh my gosh, I'm having a hard time here.
There you are.
Do you think once they collaborate that the prices will go up for the?
Well, it's interesting because in Europe, Carhartt is actually known as like a streetwear fashion brand. And in America, it's actually a workwear brand, right? And so they have two different kind of roles. And so I'm not sure if this is more targeted towards the kind of American worker or towards the European fashionista. I'm not sure.
Interesting. You think? Oh, keep going.
I was going to say there's boutiques for Carhartt in like major cities across Central Europe. And so it's like kind of a boutique type brand in Europe. So I'm not sure if they were targeting that audience or if they were targeting kind of your plumbers, electricians.
Right. I think we'll see a collab between like Kinko gloves, which I would rather buy those gloves.
I buy Kinko gloves actually. I buy them in 3-packs.
That's what I rock when I snowboard.
I do too because they're $13 a pair.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. So you get 3 pairs for $50. Yeah.
They almost hold up better.
Yeah, there's a little plug for you, Kinko.
Sorry, all other glove brands.
I know, right? I just wax them up and call them good, right? So anyhow,
but that's something like we've been doing that for a long time.
Why
now.
Isn't there a Kinko collab between like Kinko and like a major brand?
There probably should.
There probably should be.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's going to be like Striker or Spider or some like ski brand.
Yeah. It comes out with like spider webs all over the glove.
Yeah, they'll ruin it or something,
It'd suck.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So in other news, DCP has a new outerwear sponsor. And so DCP just recently got picked up by Rip Curl. Rip Curl, the surf brand, known for their wetsuits and board shorts. And also, they've been making outerwear for like 20 years. So also, picking up DCP. And he's going to be riding for Rip Curl.
Rip Curl have been doing outerwear for a long time, right?
They actually have. It's not one of the more popular brands, but I think in like their home market in Australia, very popular.
Gotcha.
Right? Gotcha. And I think it's available more in like California around like sunny surfside locations. Might be more apt to carry your Rip Curl outerwear. But yeah, they've been doing it for a long time. They have definite competence in manufacturing outerwear.
Do you miss brands like Killer Loop or Body Glove?
No to both of those. Okay, so I mean, here's what it boils down to for me is just like this desire for authenticity, right? And so you have these brands that kind of decide to jump into snowboarding,
right? And
they decide they can take their corporate culture, their corporate branding, and put that onto snowboarding. And it's not always a good fit. You can't always take your branding from other sports and parlay that directly into the sport of snowboarding. And so like when Body Glove came out with their I don't even know what they made now. I think they made like outerwear or something, but with like nice neoprene facets or something. Yeah. But it was like kind of half wetsuit, half snowboard gear, and it was just kind of hokey.
Right.
And then Killer Loop was like a brand of Sport Shield sunglasses, I want to say, from Central Europe that decided that it would be a perfect crossover to make snowboards. And so once again, they took that aesthetic they had from their Sport Shields, kind of going fast, standing still, and tried to apply that to snowboarding. Didn't work out in the long run. They were around for 2 or 3 years. And Kyle Clancy's first sponsor was Killer Loop.
I was just going to ask you that. I was going to ask you.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the most famous thing that Killer Loop is known for, is sponsoring Kyle Clancy first. Yeah, but anyhow, it's that authenticity or lack thereof when they try to cross over into snowboarding, and they have they don't adopt the snowboarding culture. They try to bring their culture to the sport of snowboarding. It doesn't always work out.
You feel like Rip Curl has done that in Australia, or has done that I feel like it's a brand that hasn't really appealed to the US all that much, aside from in surfing,
Yeah, I mean, I would say that they're just known as a surf brand, although I think they are fairly authentic with the quality of their outerwear.
Okay.
But I would say people see it as a surf brand, right? And so that's why it'll be carried in like Southern California, like in surf shops. And that's why it's like all over Australia, and in Europe, like Surf de Neige, I don't know. The way that like basically surf de neige is like surf the snow.
Oh, gotcha.
In French, they
Yeah.
used to call like snowboarding surf de neige.
Okay.
Surfing of snow. And so like they definitely like wholeheartedly embraced brands like Quicksilver and brands like Rip Curl and O'Neill from the surf world into snowboarding in Europe.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Gotcha.
But I think that's a cool move. Free wetsuits though for I know DCP is
DCP,
passionate
yeah.
about surfing and snowboarding, so it's a nice crossover sponsor for him.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right on.
And they've got some other news going on. Let's see here. We got some new shakedown, shake ups at Burton Snowboards.
Oh, do tell. What's going on over there?
Okay, well, for one, Ian Warda was promoted to the Vice President of Global Marketing and Global Strategy.
Whoa. Hold. Where's Crockett in this whole mix? Wasn't she?
I don't know. I don't know what her role. I mean, there's so many layers of middle managers,
Okay.
upper managers, middle upper managers. It's hard to tell. But Ian has been with Burton for 15 years, and he kind of like oversaw the U.S. Open migration to Vail, and he's basically worked throughout the Burton business for 15 years. And so he has a pretty good bearing on kind of, it's like you don't know where you're going unless you know where you come from. Well, certainly with 15 years experience, he knows where Burton's coming from.
Where did the U.S. Open, when did they move to Vail, by the way?
This has got to be like 7 or 8 years ago.
7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while now.
Yeah.
Hasn't been the same since in my book. It was just like the one major event on the East Coast in, Burton's home territory, and all the riders from all over the world would converge on Stratton once a year, and kids from New England would be able to travel to Stratton to see the best riders that they'd see in magazines or in videos, and they'd all come to them once a year at the U.S. Open.
Has anything really stepped up into its place in the East Coast? Sorry, I'm just like waylaying away from where
No,
you were going.
I would say not. I mean, really, there's like the Vermont Open, which has filled the shoes of the dates of the U.S. Open.
Gotcha.
But it's not the same thing. They don't bring in pros from all over the world, basically.
Yeah.
So not quite the same.
Right.
Yep. So that's one of the pieces of news.
Okay,
and
what's the other piece?
And then I want to say that so here's something interesting. Like Jake and Donna are moving to Europe. I know that's not really like news per se, but yeah, Jake and Donna are moving to Europe to kind of take over the European operations, or just basically get a good handle on the European operations for Burton. And so Donna has stepped back or aside, maybe she sashayed to the side, and she is now sharing the Burton CEO role with John Lacey. And John Lacey was the president of Burton for the last 3 years, I believe, and now he will be co-CEO, which is interesting because I'd say this is the first time, gosh, maybe ever, that they've had a non-carpenter as the CEO of the company.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so I think that's probably a good news because John's been with the company for 20 years. And so, number one, I mean, if I had the kind of money that Jake and Donna have, I wouldn't mind living in Europe for a year.
Right.
I mean, that's not a bad deal. And then, John has really been involved with the company for a long time.
So are they are still staying involved with Burton for the most part on the day-to-day?
Yeah, and so basically, like Jake and Donna, they helped establish the European division in Innsbruck, Austria, 30 years ago, and so they're basically gonna go back and kind of focus on their European business.
Do we know if that's where they're going? Innsbruck?
I'm guessing Innsbruck. If they want to get a handle on the European business, it probably would be close to Innsbruck.
Okay.
So that's not a fact. I'm kind of inferring that, but I would say that would make sense. And as co-CEO,
should we put money on this? Where they're going?
Where would you bet?
I would probably
Ibiza.
No,
Ibiza.
I'd probably say something like, I don't know, the Canary Islands.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I don't think you're really getting that much closer to your European business division if you go to the Canary Islands, but not a bad idea.
I know the Canary Islands may as well be Africa, but
Yeah.
still.
So yeah, I mean, I think though this is a good move for Burton though,
Okay.
and you know I think that you know this will light a fire under John Daly's ass to just make Burton just authentic and true to the sport and really.
You say his name's John Daly?
I think that's what I said, isn't it? What did I say? Yeah, John Lacey. John Lacey.
I was about to say, I was like, wait, they hired John Daly? Dude, that dude is loose.
That guy is such a good golfer,
bro.
He's
such a good golfer.
He drinks so good.
Oh, man, he comes in so hungover the next day and just crushes it.
Yeah, but no, it's John Lacey, not
thank
John
God.
Daly. Yeah,
I was like,
but I think that's a good move for Burton, though. A good move for Jake and Donna to go live it up in Europe a little bit, and good move for John Lacey to kind of sow his oats at the Burton World headquarters.
Man,
yeah, this will be good, and he can oversee Ian Ward, the new vice president of Burton Marketing, and Sarah Crockett, who's
came from REI, right?
Yes, but she's like the director of global marketing.
Yeah, okay,
I mean, there's all these different layers of marketing.
Gotcha.
So.
There's so much.
Yeah. So anyhow,
okay.
So yeah, that's in the news. And the news you've probably been waiting for more than any other is the Mountain Dew Snow Dance.
Oh.
Yes, it's finally been released.
No.
To the public. Yes, the Mountain Dew Snow Dance.
Who's playing? Who's playing?
I think it's gonna be Grammatic.
Oh yes,
I know. You've been waiting. I know you've been waiting long and patiently for this announcement. November 17th from 8:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. in Breckenridge. It's going to be the Mountain Dew Snow Dance.
Wow, that sounds like so much fun. If you're 14,
yeah. It's fun for 14-year-olds everywhere in the greater Summit County.
I shouldn't be such a downer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Why do you gotta take a crap on the Grammatic free live snow dance show in Breckenridge featuring Red Gerard and Julia Marino? Yeah, why you gotta shit all over that,
dude? Red Gerard's like 14, bro.
That's true.
How old's Julia Marino?
She's like 16.
Great, cool. I just called it. That was it.
Yep. So anyhow, that'll be great for tweens of all ages, between the ages of 12 and 18.
Oh, Mountain Dew always on the forefront of the awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, here's what it is. The Mountain Dew kicks off winter with the ultimate snow dance, an exciting early season experience with professional snowboarders, popular musicians, hot food, and ice cold dew.
Oh,
ice cold dew.
Okay,
you can get hot food and ice cold dew. Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't even know why that's even an announcement. Why do we even waste those 2 minutes? I'm never getting those 2 minutes back again.
All right, for all of you around Breck, you've been informed. Everyone else is like, just move on to the next freaking thing. Oh, hey guys, Beeve here with Sullivan, and we're talking about Patreon. I know, it's one of those things that we gotta throw in there, but check this out. It's because of people like you that go and get on the internet and go to Patreon and support us for as little as what, $2 a month?
Yeah.
It's people like you that help us do this.
Yeah, but people are like, no, it's free. It's a free podcast,
right?
Steve. We don't need to pay for this. We can get it for free.
Yeah, I know.
The way that we're gonna tell these independent stories is by having people support us. Right now, we got about 108 people supporting us. Not a lot.
108.
108.
Still pretty rad.
It is pretty rad, yeah.
There's 108 people out there that are supporting us on Patreon.
Yeah.
Right on.
With your support, as little as $2 a month, we can continue to push this ball downfield to continue to tell these real stories in snowboarding. Okay, so what else have we got? Let's go on to a segment here.
Let's do something like worst inventions. Number 4. Let's just go into worst inventions.
Worst inventions?
Yeah, hit me with the worst invention.
Okay, worst invention in snowboarding?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me think about this. Give me a second here. Hold on.
Okay.
Couch loafers.
Okay. What's couch
That's
loafers?
just from Snowboarder TV back in the 90s or 80s or whatever. Anyhow. Okay. Your worst invention ever in snowboarding history.
Okay.
The Miller releasable snowboard bindings. Worst invention ever for sure.
Okay, so wait, releasable meaning like the releasable, like you'd
literally
like how you
your feet
release out
would-
of the ski bindings. You release out of the snowboard
It was like
bindings.
a full snowboard binding that would like attach to like a base plate.
Okay.
And so you would strap yourself into your snowboard binding and then step into a base plate. and then you would like release the whole snowboard binding on your foot, and then the board would go apparently running away, or I guess you would have a leash. Another horrible invention, but
is this the reason why there are leashes? Is because someone invented?
I don't know, but that
bindings?
was just so. Anyhow, they decided that they would start suing manufacturers of snowboard bindings for having a non-compliant product, a non-releasable product.
How did that go over for them?
It didn't go over very well because I think they burnt through all their money and went out of business. But I guess that Earl Miller created the releasable ski binding, and he was hoping lightning would strike twice and he could capitalize on releasable bindings for a second time with snowboards. Didn't quite work out to his design.
I would love to see someone like do a trick or a grab and just one foot just releases and the second foot just
and then
rips and releases.
shatters.
Yeah, and the knee just shatters and the board goes flying down the hill and guys left there.
Yeah,
It's a
going
slide.
nowhere quick. Okay, so there's my bad invention. What's your terrible invention?
Well, I was just going to ask you about the safety strap because the safety strap, like my whole career of snowboarding, it just seems so pointless. And we were required to have them, like even into probably like the early 2000s. I think people were still like, "Where's your safety strap?" Be like, "You ever seen my whole foot come out of the fucking binding?"
Yeah,
Never.
That was I think those were designed for before inserts.
Okay.
Before like snowboards actually had inserts, so
Okay.
you might actually rip out both bindings at the same time, and then if your leash was attached to your bindings, of course you'd have a leash attached to your binding attached to your foot via the straps. It was a terrible idea, terrible invention, but it was also law in Colorado.
No
There was
way.
actually a leash law where you could be arrested. I almost got arrested for not having a safety leash. When by the way, the function of it was nil because the safety leash was attached to your
the
binding.
Yeah.
And you were worried about the binding ripping off of the board, which would still have the leash attached to I don't know. It didn't make any sense then, doesn't make any sense to me now.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, so that's what was that segment called?
That was called Worst Inventions.
Worst invention
Yeah.
ever. Like the leash, the releasable binding for snowboards.
How did we hold on to it for so long? I mean, didn't we just go like by statistics? Like, how many of these have actually saved anybody from
Zero.
Yeah, zero.
Yes. How many people have gone on shooting rampages high on marijuana?
Zero.
How many people have snapped out of both of their bindings but had a safety leash save the day?
Zero.
Exactly. Exactly my point.
Exactly.
So, yeah. I mean, they don't make any sense then. They didn't make any sense now. They don't make
Right.
sense, period.
But occasionally we see like a throwback or something from like Air Blaster, like makes a
Yeah, like a
leash.
Velcro leash, like it's a surf leash or something.
Yeah,
Like, hey,
exactly.
dude, it's like I'm surfing. Surf's up, bro.
I on my Kemper board I had it like literally it was like a surfing leash. It was
Yeah.
made out of that same
Same thing.
material. Yeah.
Yeah, there was like a knockoff of a surf leash, and you're like, see, look, that it goes with my Rip Curl pants.
Oh, by the way, speaking of my Kemper board, which I love that Kemper board, I had the original Kemper bindings, the original safety strap, and it was awesome. And I actually went down to like the Boise Gaper Day down at Bogus Basin.
Okay. You travel Gaper days around the country. You do like a tour of Gaper days.
Yeah, I did a Gaper Day tour. And I
Okay.
went down there to say our good buddy Corey McDonald's down there, and I run into him all the time. And I'm out there, and like literally first run, we go all the way up. We go up to the top and to the backside, and I'm
Double
going down.
breakaway.
Dude,
Safety leash saved the day.
No, I literally broke the straps on my bindings. Yeah.
Ooh.
And so I just had a toe strap, and I got down to the bottom, and I got up to the top, and I was like, well, I'll just 1 foot down off the top of Bogus. And Bogus is not a very big mountain,
Right.
but it was like the freaking Matterhorn with one toe strap. And then I broke every piece off the right side of my Kemper. So if you want to know the lifespan of the plastic of a Kemper binding, it was 1989 until 2017.
Right. Interesting. So did the safety leash save the day?
The safety leash did not save the day.
Oh, okay. That's too bad, because I was thinking like, hey, this sounds like a perfect a perfect reason for a safety leash to be there.
It would have saved the day had that toe strap not actually still been there. And I somehow one-footed on one safety strap, no high back. I'd broken all the pieces, the high back. I was just in my hand, plastic going down. And I was like a no back with one toe strap. I made it all the way to the bottom somehow.
Right.
So, but no, the safety strap would have saved the day, but it still didn't.
So did that make you more of a gaper or less of a gaper?
I was feeling pretty gaperish. I swear, I got to the bottom. I was just like, my quads were hurting. Just like some fat kid having a hard time, like one-footing an old snowboard down. And I just hiked up to the top and just threw all the pieces in a pile and some in, I don't know.
Lighter fluid, match, burned it all.
It was really sad because these bindings, they were like pristine that day that I went up there, and then they were just shattered into pieces by the end.
Right, brittle plastic.
It was crazy. Yeah.
Okay.
Everything broke.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that your tour of Gaper Days didn't go up to the expectation.
I figured if that one toe strap had broken, I would have been able to test that.
I know.
That theory.
I know. And then that could have been the best invention ever.
Right. Then it would have been the best invention.
But no, it's the worst
invention
okay.
ever. Yeah.
Okay. What else we got?
This Week in Shaun White.
Ooh, we should do that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so this is interesting because I noticed that Shaun has posted. He actually deleted a photo this morning.
What? Did Shaun get embarrassed about something that Shaun did?
I think he must have, and it's really kind of sad because it was actually his.
What was it? Was it his Halloween costume?
Yeah, it was his Halloween costume, and so he dressed up as a character from a movie. He does some. He's pretty well known for his Halloween costume. So he did Wendy's one year, and this year though he did Simple Jack from the movie Tropic Thunder.
It was pretty good. I saw his Instagram live.
Yeah. But you know what? There's some things you should know about, about going that direction with your costume. And so I just wanted to pull up a clip.
Is this from Tropic Thunder?
This is from Tropic Thunder.
Okay.
So hopefully I can share this with Shaun. He might not watch the whole movie.
Seriously, don't know. Everybody knows you never go full retard.
I'm really not a fan of that word, but
I'm not a fan of that word either. And
but
honestly,
it's from a movie.
It is from a movie, and in the 80s there was a different context to that word.
Try like 95 on that movie. Let's go 90s.
90s?
Yeah.
I'm just saying in the 80s, people would throw around.
Gotcha. Yeah.
The word retarded or whatever with a different context. And today it's not politically correct.
Right.
And apparently Shaun was not politically correct this year with his Halloween costume.
Oh, so that's that's
what I'm guessing, is that people were like, Shaun, you never go full.
Right.
Gotcha. And so that's why. But it's from the movie Tropic Thunder.
Okay.
And but yeah,
there was a funny. Did you see the Instagram live of him and his buddy? I don't know
who
who else. I can't remember what rapper it was.
Kid Rock.
No, it was not Kid Rock.
I thought it was Kid Rock.
But I think Shaun spent most of his time either in New York or somewhere. Right. It was like in the back of the cab, and they were like rapping to something, and his friend had tattoos all over his face, and then there was Simple Jack. Yeah.
So he was dressed as Simple Jack, and the other guy was dressed as
some tattooed rapper.
That could be like any.
Dude, what is with face tattoos these days? Is it
I
like the
don't know.
next big thing?
I think we should go get some. I think we should finish out our real talk with face tattoos.
Just like Chris Johnston.
Does he have face tattoos?
Yeah, he got duh tattooed under his eye.
What a great idea.
I explained this, I think, in the very first real talk.
Oh, man.
He says it's a great litmus test for finding out how people really are,
What like whether they have when you have a tattoo under your eye, you realize whether they judge you for having a tattoo under your face?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a great litmus test. It's just you're the litmus and the test wrapped into one.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't imagine having a face tattoo.
No, I can't either.
But we're getting them today, right?
But yeah, we're gonna
just
change
in time for Halloween.
Just in time for Halloween. People are gonna think that their makeup, no. Sharpie, no.
Okay, stuff Shaun's been doing this week. Looks like he's been golfing.
Ooh.
Oh, where is
with
this?
Big Boy in Vegas, I want to say.
Yeah, Top Golf.
Yeah.
Wow, it only gets better. Okay, wait. So, Shaun's been golfing. He's been surfing. There's some surfing here it's a Surfing Sunday. and he's surfing somewhere. Question for you. What the hell ever happened to skateboarding?
I don't know, because that was like his whole feed on Instagram.
Yeah,
like
right?
I was expecting that we could do This Week in Shaun White and just go through the progress of Shaun towards his next Olympic gold medal. But it's like taking that away from us, Beav.
He's taking it away.
I know. How dare he?
It's like you got a post where he's looking like freaking Sherlock Holmes in New York City. New York for the day. Big Apple.
The Big Apple.
And then he's in Vegas. I will say this one where he's looking like the Wendy's girl. Pretty good. Pretty classic.
No, he does look like the Wendy's girl. Okay, what else we got in the news? Here's something.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
If you're looking for a snowmobile right now, they've just like released all the rebates on snowmobiles, so you can get like up to $4,000 back on a new Arctic Cat, $1,500 back on a Skidoo.
What does that put the number at? Like
around 10 grand. Around 10 grand,
Yeah.
you can get a new old leftover.
From last year.
That's
not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. New Polaris Axis.
I wish I had $10,000. I'd do it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, they're like 15 grand new normally.
That's like $6 a mile. I mean, they're building these things to go like 2,500 miles.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like $6 a mile. That's crazy.
Yeah, but they're so much fun.
They are so much fun.
Okay, that was just like a little thing in
Sorry,
passing.
I just threw that out there. I was just doing math.
Yeah, I know. They are expensive, but man, they are worth it. I gotta say.
Okay.
Gotta say, totally worth it.
They're totally worth it.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, there was also the Man Boys just had their premiere last night in Whistler. I thought that was probably pretty good. It'll be out on Snowboarder though. It'll be out. It's called Selective Memory, but it'll be out on Transworld, I believe, by the end of the month for free. Okay. But they just had their premiere in Whistler. It's like a good time.
Is that kind of how it's going these days? Free, they basically just release it and then it all goes out free. And
yeah, I mean, I would say that really the sponsorship deals have taken over the media in snowboarding. There really isn't a lot of independent media in snowboarding because it's all really based on advertising commitments. And so, the reason why the Future of Yesterday is able to play for free on Transworld is because of the advertisers who pay for the movie to happen.
Sure. It's not people buying it because that just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, and it used to be they would sell 20, 30,000 copies at like, the makers of the movie would make between $6 and $10 per copy. Right. So they would bring in a fair chunk of change.
Sure.
20,000 copies times $10, that's
$200,000.
Booyah. Right. So that was like a lot of money, involved with media. And so not quite the same amount of money anymore, not the same overhead as far as costs go with developing 16, transferring and all that. But still, I would say that the snowboarding media in general is kind of still trying to figure out how to handle free media, basically.
Right. I thought it was interesting. It's interesting you say that. I saw Ben Ferguson's Pray for Snow segment, which is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Basically like, let's just release this out to...
The only thing I didn't like about that, there was only like 2 clips of Ben Ferguson, and that's like Ben Ferguson's full part, which was like 2 clips plus like Sebe de Buck and Stali Senbeck and like all these other Red Gerard and like all these other guys who would like...
Totally.
It wasn't really a part at all.
It was hilarious because they had this huge buildup where he like came out and he like... First, I actually think it was kind of backwards. He pulled a can out of the Pray for Snow like vending machine, and then it said Ben Ferguson on it. And then he went back to like where they brew the beers, and there was beer dripping out of a certain spot, and he drank it, and then checked his mark off on it, and then walked away.
Oh yeah, by like a big like metal
like
tank,
a big old
like in
vat.
the brewery.
And then all of a sudden it was his part, and he's on a snowmobile, and then
for
two runs through the little quarter pipe thing, which was really like about like 6 tricks.
Yeah. Stolly had some good tricks in there.
Everybody had really good tricks in there.
I know, that was a sick
Ferguson
part.
Is sick.
It just wasn't Ferguson's part.
No, it wasn't Ferguson's part. It was everybody's part.
Yeah. It was just like, we're going to do a photo shoot at Bachelor.
Yeah.
Let's call it Ben Ferguson's part. He's old enough to drink.
I just don't get it. It's like okay, sorry. I'm sorry, Pray for Snow, but like I made fun of the fact that you had a trailer and all you were doing for the first half of it was pulling sleds off trailers.
Yeah, you did.
Now you had Ben Ferguson's part, and he pulled a beer out, tasted a beer, checked off a beer, 3 times longer than his 2 shots in the actual video.
Right. Longer than his actual part in the video was his part drinking beer.
Was his part...
Which is actually fitting considering it was sponsored and brought to you by a beer company.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah. Maybe everyone's part should just be drinking beer.
Boy, if I had a part in a video, I'd be drinking beer.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, think about like the whiskey movies. I mean, the most famous parts of those movies, the most memorable parts were all around drinking beer.
And breaking your ankles.
Yes. And breaking bottles over your head.
And breaking bottles over your head. Yeah.
Yes. So.
What movie was it where Jimmy Halapoff got in the fight?
Whiskey 1, 2, or 3?
Was it? It was in one of the whiskeys, right?
Yeah. I think it was in one of the whiskeys.
And
Okay.
Boozy the Clown did a backflip off the marquee.
Yep.
That was the ankle breaker.
That was the ankle breaker for sure.
Can we get any Canadians on this show? Is it possible? Do you have anybody's phone number? Can we call up like Devin Walsh right now?
I don't have Devin's
Come on.
phone number. First of all, it's long distance to Canada. So you asking me to call Canada?
I'll call Canada on my phone and just charge you the hot water in. It'll just be a marketing thing.
Oh, really? Okay, so who do you want to call in Canada? Let's see if I got the number. You can call a shot and we'll see if I have the number.
Oh, now you're really calling me out. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
I probably don't have the number though.
Who's a Canadian we could call?
I don't know.
You don't know. All right, we'll call a Canadian next week. We'll figure out a way. And we should actually have a segment called Call a Canadian.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
We should call Canadians.
Because they'd probably have a great perspective on a lot of things, like good snow, beer, hockey, fucking shit up.
Yeah.
The Wildcat crew was pretty rad.
They were really rad, no doubt.
Who was your favorite crew back in the day? Because I really liked the Wildcats. I like Chris Duffy. I liked Walsh.
I'm probably partial to like the VTSP crew.
VTSP?
Yeah, Vermont Slope Posse. They're like the original crew. Basically Jeff Brushy's crew, Josh Brownlee, Jeff Brushy from back in the day. And they were kind of like an influence on like most of the other crews that kind of came out, the early crews.
Okay.
So the VTSP Vermont Slope Posse, and then that led to, the Team Green, the XLG Ghetto crew, a lot of crews kind of, the Cobras, all kind of influenced by the
Cobras, huh?
Yeah, the Colorado Bro Bras. The ARA, Aryan Regular Foot Army.
What?
Yeah.
That one sounds a little racist.
I know. The great irony was that Russell Winfield was part of the ARA.
Oh my God. We should have a segment called Ski Town Gangs.
Ski Town Gangs. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have a gang? We have one here.
We
KSA.
do. We have the KSA.
I know, not very intimidating as a gang, but yes, they're here nonetheless.
Hey, the Ketchum Snowboard Army, I think it actually
Ketchum Skate Army.
It's in the summer. It's the Skate Army.
Oh, in the winter it changes.
It's the Snowboard Army. Yeah,
I don't know that. After 15 years here,
I guess it would all happen around a what is it? The
beer pong?
No. What are the ball? What's the game that like it stands up and you have like balls and it like
pachinko?
No, kind of like pachinko. It's
shuffleboard, shuffleball.
No, it's under a glass. It goes up. It has like your score up at the top. The ball hits all
pinball.
Yeah, pinball. Shit.
I can't believe that you messed that up so badly, Beef. Jeez.
Apparently, Andy, Gilbert, and James, I think, were sitting around the pinball table at Lefties, and some skiers were like, "Get off our pinball table," and they were like, "We're in a ski gang." And like the next day, they were like, "Oh yeah, you're in a ski gang, cool." They worked at a print place, so they went and made all these KSA like hoodies with basically like a number and a name on them, and it like had like these logos, and then they passed them out to all their friends with numbers on them. Like 100 people had black KSA sweatshirts the next day.
Really?
It's pretty rad. Yeah.
Oh, so there is such a thing as like gangs in ski and snowboard towns. I wonder if that's a thing of the past or a thing of the current times. Like, do you think that
I think they're kind of just like, your buddies, not real gangs, but at the same time.
Yeah, they don't like pack heat.
No. I mean, a couple of them did.
Did they really?
No, nobody did.
Okay. That's a good rumor, though, to kind of perpetuate.
Yeah, right?
Pack heat.
They're packing heat.
Maybe not, though. Maybe not. The world is so crazy today, I don't think we need to make anything up.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Hey folks, if you're tuning in to us still, please take a minute to go to Patreon.
Wait.
What?
Is there like some question that they wouldn't still be tuning in?
Well, if they're still listening, they can go to patreon.com/the But
you're still staying still.
Still.
Like they
might
not
have just
even
listened
made
to
it
the
this
first
far.
5 minutes. Yeah, they might not have made it this far. So.
Okay.
But I just want, if you're still listening, okay, if you're listening, go to patreon.com/the Project, and we're going to count on you guys to support an independent voice in snowboarding media. It's how we're going to keep this thing advertising free and have a voice that is not affected by the advertisers. So let's go and move on to something else. What else we got here today?
Let's see here. Let me just see what I was looking at today. Hey, Squaw invested $1 million in snowmaking.
Does that mean they're blowing $1 million worth of snow, or does it mean they're buying new snow guns? What does that mean?
I think it meant that they invested in more snow guns and more capacity to actually blow snow early on in the season, so you can kind of get things going quicker. You know, Sun Valley, we've always had like low snow years, and so snowmaking is. I mean, I wouldn't say we always had low snow years, but snowmaking has always been essential for us here.
Right,
you know,
now maybe for Squaw Valley, like. You know, they had like 3 years there that never even really happened.
Right.
And so maybe they need it now.
Is that kind of the future of our sport right now, is just having everyone having to have snowmaking?
Yeah, maybe they could also add some altitude to the resort too and get some colder weather. Because Tahoe doesn't exactly have cold weather for blowing snow.
I don't see any plates shifting anytime soon and pushing Tahoe up a few hundred feet.
I don't either. But just an idea. So let's see. So what else do we got going on? We got our trivia from last week. We got
we do, yeah.
We want to go over those. We could do that.
We could.
Yes.
But you're going to have to make up 3 trivia questions.
I can do it on the fly.
On the fly?
I'll do it on the fly. I don't care. What are the 3 from last week? Let's go over last week's
Where
trivia.
was the first halfpipe competition ever held?
Okay, that would be 1983, Soda Springs, California, put on by Tom Sims, and Mike Chantry helped out with that one.
What was that? How did they come up with the idea for the halfpipe? Was it really skateboard influenced on snow?
Yeah, it was skateboard influenced, hand dug halfpipe. They have like a throwback event every spring, kind of where everyone shows up and hand digs halfpipe. The Retro Worlds. It was called the World Championships, the very first contest. But, yeah. That was 1983, Soda Springs, California.
Who won that competition? Do you know?
I want to say probably Terry Kidwell, either Terry Kidwell or Alan Armbruster.
Okay.
Yeah, one of those two.
Sick. Okay. What rider has won the most U.S. Opens in history?
I'm gonna go with Shaun White on that one. I think it's a 8 for Shaun White.
That's kind of a no-brainer. It's got to be.
Yeah. It's kind of a no-brainer. It used to be Andy Coughlin. He had 6 victories in the racing back in the 80s.
Okay.
He was like the winningest rider. Then it was Danny Cass. I think Danny Cass hit 7.
Okay.
And then Shaun White kind of took the title from him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But you know what? I mean, I could be wrong because it actually, now that I think about it, Kelly Clark could have won more U.S. Open titles than that. Right? And Chloe Kim will probably win more. Yeah. But yeah, as far as I know, Shaun White for men, Kelly Clark for women.
Okay. Okay. Question 3. This was kind of 2-part. Who won the first halfpipe gold medal for men, and who was actually favored to win?
Okay, so maybe we'll go over the favored to win. That would probably be Terrier. Terrier was a defending ISF world champion, had won like back-to-back world championships in the halfpipe, but he boycotted the Olympics due to corruption.
Right.
So he did not want to compete. The other acceptable answer would probably be Todd Richards. He was kind of the heir apparent. If Terrier wasn't going to ride, then Todd would probably win. But back then, they had a 2-run format where both your runs got combined. So it was like you got a 95 on your first run and a 92 on your second run.
Right.
Then your score would be like 187. Right.
But if you fell on either one of those runs, you were
then
screwed.
You're out. Yeah, and that's what Richards did. He won one of the runs, and then he basically fell in another run, and so he was just like out of the mix.
No way.
Yeah, and so the guy who did win And he considers himself kind of lucky because it's made a career for him up until today, really. He was a great rider back then, but certainly winning the first gold medal for snowboarding has extended his career. It was John Simon from Switzerland.
John Simon.
Yeah, Gian, and he's now the commentator for Swiss Sports Television at the Olympics, and still is sponsored for snowboarding at Switzerland.
Rad.
And just loves being an Olympic medalist from Switzerland, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man, do you know who took second and third on that? What year was that? That was
98.
98.
98.
Okay.
So Daniel Frank got second, and Ross the Boss Powers got third.
Okay.
98.
Was there a weird year in there where things didn't go 4 years apart, or was it's 98, 2002, 2006?
Yeah,
10,
then it went
2002,
2006. Yeah, they'd already kind of gone to that switch prior to that.
Yeah, gotcha.
I think it was 92 or 96 they changed that.
Yeah, there was some weird moment where.
Because I know 92 was Albertville, and you go that 4 years forward, that would be 96, and then 2 years after that was 98. So somewhere in there between 92 and 98, they kind of switched.
Where was 98 at? Was that Nagano?
Nagano, Japan, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah. And
do you know who got second and third in that comp?
Which one? Nagano? Yeah, Daniel Frank and Ross Bus Powers.
Daniel Frank. Sorry, I missed it. Frank and Powers.
Yeah. So, two legendary riders to this day.
Sick.
Arguably maybe more legendary than John Simon, at least outside of Switzerland.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, go figure.
I would agree with that. Richard's probably pretty bummed about that one. Still
Bummed out. Yeah, he still talks about it with a little bit of salt.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you want me to rub that salt in the wounds?
Oh. It was the format, guys. It was the format. God.
He still has that attitude.
I should have a gold medal.
He should.
He probably should.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
That's too bad.
Yeah. What can you do?
That's the Olympics for you.
Yep, lots of broken hearts.
Okay, so now you're making up three new
questions.
Ones really quick. You should turn your phone off because it keeps dinging.
Mine does?
Yeah.
Oh.
Bro.
Kinger just messaged me.
No, he didn't. What did Kinger saying? What's he saying?
He said, stoked on the podcast we did. I've been listening to the rest of them for the past couple days. That's from Kinger. So, yeah. So, sorry about the dinging. That was Kinger hitting me up, being stoked on the podcast.
Yeah.
So, let's do three. Well, before we get into the trivia, let's just talk about sharing one of our podcasts, one of our past episodes, because we're giving away a board.
Yeah, okay.
Never Summer Chairman.
To someone who shares an episode?
Yeah, you got to share an episode. We got another week left on that contest.
Okay.
We'll be giving away a board, brand new board, Never Summer Chairman, with a knife graphic made by Chuck McLean.
Okay.
And but if you share an episode of the Snowboard Project on Facebook, you can do it on Instagram if you tag us and put a link to the podcast on there and just tell people why you like it. You'll be entered to win a Never Summer Chairman. We've got another week left on that contest.
If I do this every day for a week, do I get entered 7 times?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, you can enter 7 times.
No, that's
awesome.
You
can enter 30 times. You want to share every episode.
Really?
Yeah.
We have almost 30 episodes.
Almost 30, yeah. I mean, we keep cranking them out.
Wow, sick.
So I just wanted to let people know about sharing an episode, to let people know about the Snowboard Project. Please share. But let's do some trivia.
Yeah.
So first trivia question. Okay, what is... Let's see here. Give me a subject in snowboarding.
I don't know. You just
Wait
put
a
me
minute.
on the spot there.
I did.
I thought you were supposed to be really good at this.
I was trying to just get a little bit of help, a little assist.
Okay, let's just go with U.S. Open.
Okay, U.S. Open trivia. Okay,
Yeah.
What year was the cage at the U.S. Open? The most famous U.S. Open, the most famous sub-event in U.S. Open history.
I've heard you talk about this, but I have no idea.
Yeah, that's on. You can go.
Was.
Vice TV made a documentary about the U.S. Open. You go back and watch that.
And you can watch The Cave on Vice TV.
The cage, yeah.
The Cage, excuse me.
Yes. So what year was the cage at the U.S. Open?
Wow, you and Bridges were there, huh?
Yeah, the cage was my idea, and Bridges'
The Cage
idea.
was your and Bridges' idea?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. All right. U.S. Open question number 2.
Okay, U.S. Open question number 2.
Yep.
Okay, what year was the first half pipe contest?
Was it not always half pipe?
No, they didn't have any half pipe at all in the beginning of the U.S. Open.
Huh.
So for the first handful of years, there was no freestyle whatsoever. It was all racing events.
Seriously?
Yeah.
And it was Burton sponsored U.S. Open, and they did racing events.
Only racing.
That's crazy.
They did a straight shot downhill. It was basically like a straight shot down one run, and they did like a GS and a slalom.
Wow.
Three events. So what year was the first half pipe event?
Okay.
And then number 3.
Yo, wait, really quickly. Can we do? Can there just be like a Super G for snowboards? Like, I would still love to do that.
I would love that too. I would love it.
Should we do a snowboard project Super G?
I think we should.
If we can just get it. Like,
That would be actually pretty rad.
that would be so fun.
We should do that. I wonder if we could do it here at Sun Valley.
Tough cookie to crack, but maybe.
Maybe.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the third trivia question since we're doing U.S. Open trivia.
Okay.
How did they dig the original half pipe? They didn't have they used like a pipe dragon or a Zog or whatever they use today. They didn't have that back then. So how would they dig the half pipe at the original, the first U.S. Open half pipes? How would they dig that half pipe? Do you know the answer to that?
Well, if I had to guess, should I guess it online?
Well, you should guess and enter our trivia contest. You shouldn't just guess.
Okay, I shouldn't just guess here.
Yeah, but no, there was yes, the half pipe was dug though without a modern pipe shaping implement.
Okay.
So they had to figure out a hack to create the first U.S. Open half pipe. 3 years they did it this way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I now have a better idea. I'm thinking about. Okay. And I'll have to put it out there later.
Okay, and then fourth trivia question.
Okay, we have 4 today.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Start doing them on the fly. U.S. Open. What
Gotcha.
year did the U.S. Open move to Vail? It was at Stratton Mountain for first 20 some years, and then moved to Vail, Colorado at a certain point in time. And so, what year did the U.S. Open of snowboarding move from Stratton Mountain, Vermont, to Vail, Colorado?
Okay. What year did I know? Look, stupid question, because I always see the freestyle side of things.
Yeah.
Are they still doing any racing?
I don't think there's any racing.
No racing. What year was the last year they did
Wait,
racing?
You want a fifth trivia question?
Yeah.
Fifth trivia question.
Yeah.
What was the last year they had racing at the U.S. Open?
Okay.
And I don't know the answer to that, but I'm guessing. Does border cross racing count? Or is that not racing?
Let's go with like a traditional, like a hard boot racing.
Just straight up around gates.
Straight up around gates.
Okay. That's interesting. I know when the last border cross race was at the U.S. Open, but I don't know when the last actual around the gates type of race was.
Okay.
So I'm not sure about that.
Well, I'm interested to hear what those are.
Yeah.
What years those are.
Yeah. Okay. And by the way, folks, if you get a chance, please.
Oh yeah, let's read a review.
You want to read a review?
Yeah, let's read a review.
Look up a review here, but please subscribe.
Where do I find the reviews?
You can just go to iTunes. They're in the iTunes. But if you're listening to this podcast, please subscribe to it. Please rate it. Please review it. That really helps us actually with just our search results and just to help promote the podcast, to help us grow organically. Getting those reviews, getting those ratings all contribute to the way that you come up. So, yeah. So we can...
okay, the Snowboard Project.
We got some pretty good reviews. We did get a 1-star rating a few weeks ago. We did talk briefly about that. Haters, though, it was better when you hated us.
Yep.
Okay, but let's read a review for us.
Whoa, dude, Stephen H. Fisher? Is that
the Steve Fisher? Yeah, like X Games champion.
Are we sure about this?
Pretty sure.
Because he mentions my name, bro.
He knows who you are.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
He does. No, Steve Fisher. Steve Fisher lived in Mammoth.
It's going to your head right now.
He lived in Mammoth.
I can see it going to your head.
He does know me. He does know me. We used to all hang out.
Okay, let's hear Steve's review.
All right. I love this podcast. I love what Mark and Beef have done with bringing back the history of snowboarding.
He said my name.
They talk with older pros and industry he said my name, dude. Pioneers about the glory days. I love each interviewee's personal perspective on the time with the sport and industry. I think there's great real talk about everyone's experience and opinion. Huge fan of this podcast, all in caps.
Whoa.
Hope this keeps going
2 stars.
Hope this keeps going for 20 plus years.
Whoa.
Dude, that would be a lot of episodes.
Wow. We're going to have our hands full here,
Are you up for this?
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay, I think there was another one.
Okay.
Where's the most recent one? I want to read that one. that.
That's on our Facebook page.
Oh, it's on the Facebook.
You want me to read that one?
Pull it up.
Okay.
All right. Should I read another? You're pulling
read
that up. I'll read
one.
another one. And by the way, these things really help us out. It's rad that Steve Fisher put one up. It just makes me feel all warm inside.
Yeah.
Minnesota. That Minnesota crew in Mammoth back in the day, we all were part of. It was fun. I'm from Idaho, but I was kind of... Anyways, I'll stop talking right now. Okay. I don't know. I'm just going to pick one. DMNT Parakeet. As someone who's grown up with and been surrounded by snowboarding, I can say that this podcast speaks to the life that surrounds the sport as a whole. It's a testament. To how the media and times have changed and how the rules regarding snowboarding now differ from the ones of the past. It's refreshing to get a real perspective from the people who have been with it since the beginning. Keep up the incredible work.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. Parakeet.
DMNT Parakeet. Dement Parakeet.
Okay, here's another one for you.
Okay, hit it.
This is Michaela K.
All right, Michaela.
This podcast is the epitome of my existence. Real talk equals dope AF.
What does AF mean?
As fuck.
Oh, I was thinking autofocus, but keep going.
No. Mark and Beav are hilarious and make work go much faster. Ha ha. I could listen to the Beav talk all day.
Oh, she didn't say that.
Oh, you've got a fan, a super fan, Michaela K.
Oh my God.
Thank you for listening, Michaela. We appreciate that, and Beav really appreciates it.
Thank you, Michaela. I know I have this really deep voice.
Yes.
I don't know what else to say.
Just keep talking to Michaela.
Right.
Whisper some sweet nothings for Michaela's benefit, please.
Michaela, I know you're at work right now, and I just want to wish you a great day at work.
You're creeping me out, Beav. Creeping me out totally.
You told me to whisper sweet nothings.
Okay, never mind.
Take that. Okay. Anyways, all right. So hey, please go to the Snowboard Project.
Yeah, review us, rate us.
Yeah,
subscribe. Tell your friends about it. That's how we're going to grow this thing organically. Yeah. Please let people know about the Snowboard Project.
And if you feel like supporting us in more of a way than just listening, you can support us monetarily. That means with a little bit of money. You can go to the patreon.com/the Snowboard Project. Almost blew that.
Yeah, that's right. And so we're going to be doing giveaways here every week. We're getting our giveaway program back together.
We just need to give away some stuff. That's what needs to happen.
I know. And like with the trivia, you get a couple like hostel beds at the hot water, a couple Rainiers.
Yep.
Yeah, so you got to enter those. Just tag the Snowboard Project.
Yep.
And share an episode. We got a board up for that.
Yep.
We got rooms at the Hot Water Inn. We got.
And if you support us, if you go on Patreon, we're still gonna draw some names, right?
Yeah.
Against Patreon's will, we're just gonna do it.
Well, we're gonna do something to stoke out our subscribers. Also, we're sending out stickers. Raj and I worked on getting our first mailing together over the weekend. We got a few more to fill out, and we have about 40 people's packages going in the mail here this week.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. But hey, please rate us, review us, subscribe.
Yep.
Go to patreon.com/the Snowboard Project and support an independent voice in snowboarding media.
It is super important for us and the longevity of this project. So thank you guys. Again, thanks to DMNT Parakeet, Steve Fisher, you're my boy, and Michaela.
Yep, Michaela K. Just say her name a couple times because she's going to be stoked on
Should I say it in a few different ways?
Yeah.
Michaela.
Okay.
Michaela.
Ooh. I think she's going to like number 2.
I am Michaela.
She's not going to like number 3. Number 2 is the one she's going to put on.
You're right.
Okay.
It's going to be her ringtone. Michaela.
Ooh, why don't you leave it?
Just stop. I'm going to stop.
Yeah, just stop
All right,
now.
let's finish this up. Hey, thank you guys for listening to Real Talk here with Sully and I.
Yeah, I'm Sully. Yeah, what?
All right, we just need to cut this.
Okay, yeah. Hey, tune in. This week we also have our new schedule coming out for the month of November. And, of course, Todd Hahn will be dropping on Wednesday. So thank you all for supporting the Snowboard Project.
Peace.
On behalf of Mark Sullivan and the Beav, thanks for listening to the Snowboard Project. Remember, ride fast, take chances, dream big, and take action. And for God's sake, don't be a... Don't forget to support advertising-free snowboarding media at patreon.com. The Snowboard Project. The Snowboard Project. The Snowboard Project.